Well, then good, because this is a Groupon. You'll save money. I don't know. It's at the Palms, though. Oh, it's the buffet.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, we went to a buffet last night. Are we here? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talking While Black, starting on Colored People time at 8:33. That's hashtag CP time for those of y'all who don't know. Talking About Black is a show where we talk about the day's issues from a Black point of view. And today's guests are Erica Washington of the Urban League and Terry Harper of Parlay Magazine. Good morning.
Good morning.
And before we get into today's topics, Terry, tell us a little bit about Parlay Magazine, what you got going on over there.
Parlay Magazine is a Las Vegas-focused fashion magazine highlighting persons of interest throughout the city, local designers, local manufacturing, local stylists. And we talk about the business of fashion, of what's going on here, not what's going on anyplace else, because here's where it's at.
What is there much of a fashion business in Vegas?
There is. Before I started the magazine, I spoke to a lot of people that were that are in the fashion industry as designers, stylists, a number of people. And what was common was that many of these people said that there isn't a fashion industry in Las Vegas, but every single one of them were notable people. And they all knew the same people that I was talking to. And so that actually gave me the realization that this was something that we really needed to talk about here. We do have a fashion industry. It is a sleeping giant right now, and it's a huge opportunity to showcase and highlight what we do have going on here. So that is the purpose of Parlay, is to highlight these people and what is going on, and it's really just beginning.
Do you think there's sort of an inferiority complex with people when it comes to Vegas fashion?
Well, part of our problem is we don't have the infrastructure that bigger cities have that define their local garment industries, fashion industries, things along those lines. I think part of the problem is a lot of people don't necessarily want or know how to really take their talent and put it into a brandable, product that you would see in stores. But there's a ton of talent here, and it's because of our entertainment industry. It's because we have an influx of other talented people that come from other cities, and they establish roots here. But because we don't have the infrastructure pieces to really make it grow, we're stagnant. But those things are changing.
Do you think that the person who actually has talent in Vegas is actually looking to leave Vegas and hit the big time? I remember when LA went from being just a garment manufacturing area to an actual style capital. It seemed like everybody before the style capital part happened, everybody seemed to actually be like, I'm going to just get my thing together here and I'm going to go to New York, or I'm going to go to Paris, I'm going to go to Milan. Do you think that we're at that stage? Do you think everybody's still trying to like make the bounce out of here? Or do you think people are starting to see that this one day can be a style capital?
I think that there are several people who that are definitely here sort of for the long haul. I think there's a lot of talent out here that's waiting for the support to come through. And then there are those who are talented and just can't wait anymore. And so they go to LA and they go to New York, they go to where they can actually make a living doing what it is that they want to do. Manufacturing is a big component of that. And, there are very few options here. Nothing that you can do on a large scale, but you can do a lot of short run type things here. It does exist, and you can do it competitively to where you can put your product out and price it to where it's economical for whoever your customer base may be. But I can tell you that if we don't get these important pieces in place soon, we will see talent leave. And so we have to support our talent to keep them here.
What is the city and county? What are their involvements? Have the politicians, et cetera, been talked to about the potential for a garment industry here? Has the city provided any sort of help, anything like that?
The city, I've had several meetings.
Do they even get it?
There are people who do get it, yes. It's an economic development, is really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not only with the city, but also North Las Vegas. What I see is the holdup is a proper use of private equity funding and a large enough vision that says, let's make this an industry as opposed to a boutique or a cluster of boutiques,
right,
or a cluster of showrooms. It's on that level. There is support, but they need to see private equity investment.
Maybe Mayor John Lee in North Las Vegas ought to see this as a potential to make North Las Vegas the center of the garment industry.
If you define what the garment industry is, it's a lot of components.
Mm-hmm.
What we would be wise to invest in would be large-scale manufacturing facility. It's cheaper to do it here. North Las Vegas has a ton of
empty space.
It can be converted to doing manufacturing. They are very interested in moving towards that. But again, it's private equity funding.
Right.
So,
and where do you get that from? I mean, do you go to LA and sort of say to people there, your land, your space is super expensive. We're an hour away by plane, 4 hours, 5 hours away by car.
We have people in our backyard that can do this.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to go to LA to do that. We don't have to go to New York to do that.
And I'm saying to poach their, to literally poach their manufacturing. To me, it seems like I used to live downtown in LA in an Echo Park and Silver Lake, where all of that manufacturing is basically centered. And I know how expensive those spaces are.
Well, they want to come here. Manufacturers, brands want to come here.
Mm-hmm.
They know that $1 here is
$5
there. $5. Yeah, absolutely. So they know, what Vegas represents. Plus, we're 4 hours away from ports.
Yeah.
We are a beltway here. So we have 2 airports. McCarran has a ton of traffic that flows through it. North Las Vegas, their airport potentially could serve as part of a distribution center.
Right.
The manufacturing side fits in perfectly. And geographically speaking, the people that live in North Las Vegas are hungry for work.
Right.
There's a lot of opportunity there. Vegas is the biggest opportunity in the country. We could build manufacturing. We could build a garment industry, a fashion industry here, and it would be profitable from as soon as the doors open.
Right. I think whenever I think of Vegas fashion, I think of those sausage casing dresses that the tourists wear. Those girls, those dresses that look like are in sausage casing, and they're constantly pulling them down to cover their cooch. Erica, you know the dresses I'm talking about.
I do not own one.
Thank you. I'm so proud to hear that. You got too much booty to own one of those.
That's another show.
Yeah, and so when I think of Vegas fashion, I think of those.
That's not Vegas fashion. That's tourist fashion.
There's
You
the
have to
difference.
think of who comes into town and what they bring from their Midwest towns and wear here. So that's not
And they get to
stuff
come here
you
and
find
wear
in
things that they
culture.
would never wear in the
because they
cities where
think
they
they
come
can get
from.
away with it.
Exactly.
We see them.
With their shoes in their hands at 4 a.m, walking down the street.
Exactly.
What is Vegas fashion? Is there a Vegas style?
I believe that, well, speaking of which, the next coming issue of Parlay Magazine, we feature a stylist. His name is Russell Frank. And we are essentially identifying that he is, if not the best, one of the best stylists in the city. I believe that because of our entertainment culture, people come here for events, and people still dress up for events. And that defines a large part of our Vegas fashion styling. We have a lot of artists here from the Cirque du Soleil shows. There's artistry here. And so that defines a lot of our fashion. And in this coming issue, we sort of redefine what the new Vegas style is. And a lot of people, a lot of discussions when you talk about Vegas fashion, or Vegas style, what is it? A lot of people translate that to the old Vegas, like an old Hollywood kind of a look. And that doesn't fit who's here now. That doesn't fit the people who live here, who come here. It is a millennial to Generation X, we're sexier, but we don't have to show everything anymore. There is a style that exists here, and it doesn't necessarily it's not of the past that I don't believe anymore. I think people have evolved.
When I go to like Velveteen Rabbit, I'm always amazed that the women there are dressed, like just dressed. And it's like you see the stuff you see in the magazines. The men, on the other hand, are all doing lumbersexual still, which just...
I've never heard of lumbersexual.
That's the stupid Pendleton shirt, the stupid beard, the stupid mustache that goes curly Q.
The hipster.
Yeah, it's stupid. It really bugs me. Like, I like the way Matt Goss dresses over at Caesars.
I think that's more, I don't know, lumbersexual.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd go truck driver, maybe.
Well, truck driver's more. Remember when Ashton Kutcher was trying to be a truck driver back in the 90s? Yeah. I think this whole
I
like
tried to make that happen.
Yeah. The hipster look is just, for men, it's just it's stagnant. It's so like all these men dress exactly the same, and it's just lame. It's just so, I don't know. It just bugs me. But I think the women are definitely like this one right here, Erica, is one of the leaders, I think, in women's fashion, because this girl dresses, and you got to follow her on Instagram at Vegas Socialite to see all her fabulous outfits.
Really, he's tooting my horn. He's really tooting his own horn, because he really likes to make sure that everyone knows that he has something to do with dressing me. Did I pick that out? Where's something that I picked out?
He's your personal stylist.
He is my personal
She is my
stylist.
muse. She is my muse.
But I do find it very interesting that women will dress really, really nice, and you'll go somewhere, maybe at the Wynn or somewhere, and you'll see women dress really, really nice, and then the guys have on like throwback jerseys and saggy pants or whatever. They're not wearing a tie. They're not wearing even a button-up shirt or a jacket or anything. It's like, how do you do that? Like, and why would you? You're not complimenting me at all.
Yeah, and why do women allow it? Because to me, I'd be like, you need to turn around and go back and put on an outfit that matches all this, But speaking of women, segue. And by the way, Parlay Magazine is www.parlay, Parlay Magazine online. And let's segue into Miss Erica Washington, no relation. That we know of, because we identify as, which we'll get to later.
We identify as not being related.
Right. Erica works for the Urban League as the Director of Development. And give us a little rundown on what that means other than the fancy title.
That's all there is to it. the fancy title and a very pretty office. No, so Las Vegas Urban League, which is the second largest affiliate in the country, out of 94 affiliates.
Wow.
And so, and second largest by revenue. And we are a community action agency, meaning that we help empower people with different programs, such as we have a veterans program, we have 2 WIC offices, we have the Pearson Community Center, we have the Martin Luther King Jr. Senior Center, we also have employment training that goes on a weekly basis, we have an education program, a summer program within that education program, and also a child care subsidy program. So we're the largest child care subsidy in the state of Nevada. So my job is to develop business relationships and personal relationships with people so that they will donate and help support the efforts that we're constantly trying to do. And then I'm in charge of communication. So press releases and all that fun stuff.
What, when people say the Urban League, what's the first thing that they think?
Is that like the Urban Chamber? That's usually the first thing that we get and say, no, we're not. And some people connect it to the NAACP because we are civil rights. We're rooted in civil rights. We're actually, I think, a little bit older than the NAACP, actually.
Wow.
And so, but the various affiliates, we all have the same mission to a certain degree, but they all do things a little bit differently. And so we're not as rooted in civil rights as the NAACP is still today. But on a national platform, we still speak out on various issues. So, things going on in Ferguson and Baltimore, things like that.
So is it a Black organization?
No, the organization is open to everybody. We're here to empower the entire community. It's civil rights is a human issue. It's not a Black issue or Hispanic issue. And we, in our particular affiliate, we serve probably 45% Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
So
how could you said it's like number 2 in the nation? How is it that little old Vegas ends up being like the number 2 spot of such a huge organization?
I would have to give that credit to Kevin Hooks.
Who's the CEO?
Who is the CEO? Because, and when I say number 2, we're number 2 in revenue size, and so we're almost 30 million a year in revenue, and that comes from,
that's huge.
It's very huge, and so a lot of them are more like 6 million, and like when we say we're a lot ahead, we're a lot ahead. Philadelphia is the top one, and so in the amount of money that we receive, government grants and private donations and state grants is how, and a lot of that money comes from him constantly being out there in the community and constantly trying to uplift the entire organization and diversify the portfolio of the organization. All the money can't come just from grants. It has to come from private citizens as well.
One of the things I like about Kevin and the Urban League and yourself is that you guys are open to new ideas and open to new communities that haven't traditionally been served, like the LGBTQ community. You do a lot of women's stuff that's a little bit off the beaten path. Do you think, has that been a concerted effort to reach out to communities that haven't traditionally been reached out to?
I think so. I mean, I feel that it's important that we're known not just to help Black people or just to help poor people, because your circumstances change over time. We have a lot of people who come into our offices needing assistance, and they drive really nice cars. They drive a better car than I do, and it's not necessarily because they're trying to buck the system, but at one time they had a really great job,
right? And
they lost that really great job, and they still have their car. They still need their car to get to and fro, but now they need new training skills. They need help with their rent or their utilities or what have you. And so I think the further out we reach, the more people we can reach, because then they know that we're there, right, and they can move forward and move out of their current circumstances.
So a person who was formerly middle class can still avail themselves of the services.
Right, as long as you qualify income-wise, and as far as job training, you don't have to have a particular income. If you're, you don't have to be unemployed, you can be underemployed. Because sometimes you might have a degree, but you're working at McDonald's.
Right.
So because you need to sharpen your interview skills, you need to just learn basic soft skills.
Does the Urban League train people in like new jobs, the jobs of the future?
So we have what's called iTech 702. And so that is, I would say that would probably be the most innovative program that we have. Now it's based for probably, I think it's 12 to 16-year-olds. And so, and it's based on STEM. So it's teaching these young people how to
What is
program. STEM is science, technology, stuff.
Science, technology stuff. STEM.
Right, STEM. Go STEM. So it's math and,
Right.
like that stuff.
But what about the person who's like, my age, somewhere over 29? Ish.
Over 29.
Ish. What about us? Because, it's all fine and stuff to help the youth, but do you think got a car note?
Do you think got a car note? That is very true. So we have computer classes. We actually have 2 computer labs at our main office on Cheyenne where people can brush up or learn new skills if they're not familiar with, say, PowerPoint, things of that nature, Office, Word, things like that. And then also at our senior center, we have a computer lab. And so we teach the seniors how we're teaching them the basic skills. And then they really want to get into like Facebook.
They be starting them blogs and stuff, talking about what's going on up at the center.
And we have a community computer lab at the Pearson Center as well.
Do you find that folks in the community are availing themselves of that? Are they still a little reluctant?
I think some are, and I think the seniors are not. They they're first ones to raise their hand when they said, do you want to do a computer class? And they come over to our computer lab at the Cheyenne office because it's bigger and has more space. And so they'll come over and they take the class, they go back, have lunch, and come back in the afternoon. So I think that they're very excited about doing it now. I can't speak for the rest of the community so much because sometimes I think people don't realize that we offer some of the services that we do. So they don't ask and they don't come in.
So now we need to get that word out there because to me, like people my mom's generation, that woman is convinced that every computer is spying on her. She is convinced.
People put tape over
My mom has tape over her camera.
A lot of people do that. They put tape over the camera because they think someone is hacking in.
Mom, what are they looking at you for? Like, seriously? What exactly is it that you are doing?
She's gonna be naked.
Yeah, my mom's a thought. Yeah. She's out there. I just don't see her doing it. Maybe without her wig, but I don't really see nothing that she could be possibly doing. So how do people get a hold of the Urban League and avail themselves?
So we have a brand new website that was just unveiled yesterday.
Yay.
So that's lvul.org. Our main office is on Cheyenne in North Las Vegas. The phone number is 702-636-3949. And they can call and ask about the various services. And we have 8 offices actually across Clark County. But the main office will get you to where you need to go.
Okay. Now let's have another segue. We're not going to talk about Rachel Dolezal yet. What's her name?
I don't know. Doja.
She's Creole. She identifies as Creole. But there was a question that came up a couple of weeks ago. And there were very strong opinions. And I want to ask. The question was, do you fix your man a plate? And here's the scenario.
Did you hear this conversation? It was all over Facebook. It was on the route and everything. Okay,
here's the scenario. So your man asks you to fix them a plate at a barbecue. And you're like, I ain't doing that. And another woman comes up and says, oh, I'll fix you a plate. How do you react? First of all, tell me, do you expect a woman to fix you a plate?
I don't expect a woman
to fix me a plate. But do you like it?
Fixing somebody a plate, to me, requires trust. Okay?
No roofies in my mashed potatoes.
But okay, so let's say it's a big spread, right? You might not like everything.
And I don't eat everybody's potatoes.
And it's okay, right? So to ask somebody to fix your plate, that requires some trust that they know what you like to eat.
And how much of it?
Right.
Because you just start.
Okay, because if you ask your grandma, she'll put everything on that plate.
And it'll touch.
And it'll be piled high. And everything's touching, hot, cold, everything. So it's trust for me.
Okay, but do you like somebody to fix you a plate?
If they know me, yes.
Because what does it mean if they fix you a plate?
Oh, well, you can say that that's a form of saying I love you.
Damn.
I took it there.
I look at more like just serve me.
Yeah, that's the thing is.
Let me cater to you.
Yeah, I mean, if love is involved, I get my own plate.
But okay, so if it's your sister,
Mhm.
if it's your aunt, and they offer to fix you a plate, that's saying I love you to me, right? I'm thinking of you. Matter of fact, they may be offering to fix your plate before they fix their plate.
They usually do, I think.
Okay.
I think because once your plate is fixed, you ain't fixing nobody else's plate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're sitting down, you're gonna eat. So I think that's thoughtful for somebody to do that. Now, if you with your girl and she doesn't offer, but somebody else does who maybe your girl doesn't like, then that can mean something else.
Well, she won't be liked after that either.
Right. That's not the way to win friends.
Right.
So, Erica, do you fix a plate?
No. Moving right on. Like, I don't get it. I didn't grow up that way. Everybody fixed their own plates, I guess. It's not that my grandmother. You fix children's plates,
Mhm.
and
But aren't men children?
No. And so don't try to play that. You can't play that when you want to. But if you came over my house, I would fix you a plate because you are a guest.
Mhm.
And I say, would you like something like that? But if we're at a barbecue together and we're both guests, what do I need to? Where am I fixing my plate? Then I'm fixing yours, and I'm bringing it over to you, and then you're gonna have to sit there and wait until I get back in line, and then fix mine, and then you're gonna eat, or are you gonna?
I wouldn't wait.
Halfway done, right? See, you're done eating. Talk about, can I get some more?
Yeah.
No, I don't. And again, it goes. You don't know how much anybody wants. You don't know what they want. And I don't know. It's almost like someone fixing my coffee. You don't know exactly how much cream I want. Don't do it. No, do it yourself. We can stand up together and go through the line.
Okay, let's say we're at a barbecue
Mhm.
and you two haven't seen each other, and you're having a conversation. You're catching up. You know you're hungry because
You at the
food
barbecue.
smells good, right? And so let's say I'm your man, and I go, "Hey, babe, want me to fix your plate so you can continue to have your conversation?"
No one does that.
Really?
No one does that. What kind of man are you?
Stop making it look bad. For everybody else.
You know
Now we got
what?
new standards.
You need to stop. I'm gay and we don't do that.
I think that in a way of offering, sure, but I think it's the expectation that I have a problem of expectation of expecting a woman to fix a man's plate, because the conversation that went on Facebook, there are people who said, yeah, I always fix my man's plate. Like he expects me to fix his plate, not just a scenario like that and act like, oh, hey, when I'm getting up to get something to drink, yes, I'll ask if you want something to drink if I'm getting up or something, but I'm not, you got two hands, you got feet.
Okay, but if your man expects you to do that,
no man that I'd ever asked with would expect that.
Okay.
To do
Actually, they
anything.
would
That's
know
you.
that. Yes.
That's you.
That is me.
But there are others. If they choose to fill that submissive role,
Oh, that's a business.
then
I mean, everybody's relationship is different, and I certainly, there's things that I do that you may not do, and there's things that I won't do.
Okay, so you're not going to get up and get him a plate, and you've made it clear. And
Are we
then
clear on that? I don't know.
and then Janisha comes over. She's like, well, I'll get him a plate.
That bitch won't. I have several seats because that's disrespectful. I would never offer to fix. Why are you here? Why are you here? No, have several seats, and I will help you get it. That's all too
But
bad.
your man is still sitting there without a plate.
He has to learn how to stand up.
Go get a plate. Get me one while you there.
Right.
Because now I'm pissed.
Now I gotta sit here and keep my eyes on this one over here. What she doing? No, I would never do that. I would never actually ask another woman's man, can I get you a plate? Now when we had that conversation, the person we were talking to, she said, I do it all the time. I don't know why you don't have black eyes.
Right, I was gonna say, and she had both her eyes, both her arms.
It made no sense to me. Whatsoever. I'm like, you don't do that. It's rude. It's disrespectful.
I honestly, if I were sitting at a barbecue and someone came up to whoever I was with and said, "I'll make you a plate," oh my goodness.
I mean, you basically said she won't do it. The
Right.
things she won't do,
I'll do and better.
that's what that right.
Yeah, I'm too much of a
I would
control.
nourish your body.
Right. That sounded really nasty. I don't need nobody to nourish my body. That sounds like cow's milk and stuff poured all over and massaged in.
Where's he going? Oh, where'd you go?
It
Come
just-
back,
it
come
ain't-
back. Come back from the homogenized massage.
Speaking of self-identifying, I can't. Okay, Rachel Duje. Okay, she's this one. Okay, so everybody knows who she is. She's white like me, black like me, whatever. White chick, head of NAACP in Spokane, Washington, which I find is a very, very, very important element to this story.
Well, she had to stay in a small town with not too many black.
Right, because girl, I don't know you. She has self-identified as black for many, many years and is head of the NAACP, was until this morning or so, in Spokane, Washington. And she got found out that she ain't black, she white, and she's basically been tanning and perming and living with black kids who, just like she has taken this to a whole new level of deception and blackface and all that kind of stuff. First of all, what do you think of her? And then I want to talk about what do you think of white people's reaction to her?
I think she is an opportunist fraud.
Okay.
I think she is taking an opportunity. I think because I'm not sure exactly about the children. I know one is her brother.
Yeah, that's some all my children stuff right there. That's some daytime stuff that I don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't know if Victor Newman was involved.
Right?
But
Electric Cassadine is all up in the street. I don't know.
But her parents adopted kids that were black. And so I think she took that opportunity along with going to Howard and immersing herself in the black culture and then losing her scholarship because she was white and suing because she was white and she felt discriminated against. That she's like,
because she was white,
that she took that opportunity to say, hey, well, this affirmative action thing, I needed to work for me. So I'm going to identify as black so that I can get in and move up higher because she couldn't cut it as a white lady.
That's sad when you can't cut it as a white lady. That's a pretty easy job. That's a pretty easy job. If you can't cut it as a white lady, what makes you think you can survive the struggle as a black woman?
She couldn't be head of anything. And if you watch her interviews, she's not that bright.
No, she's exceedingly average.
Which is why she had to be black, because she's like, well, I'm going to be white now. I can't be white and average, but I can be black
and above average. You racist.
So, I mean, I think something Matt Lauer said this morning. He said, what did he say? He said, you started a discussion on race and what it means in this country. I take a little bit of offense to that. She did not start this discussion on race.
The race discussion was started. She sidetracked it.
Oh, yeah. She totally sidetracked it. And so now she's going to get a book deal on it, I'm sure.
She's going to make money.
A Lifetime movie.
Right. Starring Valerie Bertinelli.
Sally Struthers.
Right. As the mom.
To me, it's comedy all around, to be honest with you. It really is. It's funny to me because part of this is, I think, there's some family issues going on there.
You think?
She's getting back at her parents for some reason.
She didn't bring a black boy home. She became a black.
Right. And so there's a clear, identity crisis, we can kind of say, that may be premeditated.
Isn't that an actual mental illness when you
it is
when you don't
I think she's psycho.
You can't identify,
Yeah, as we are.
But here's one thing that I thought was interesting is they asked her, do you want to be called African American? And she said, no, I prefer black, right? And what I thought was interesting about that is if you look at the Black culture, right? It is now everybody's a part of the Black culture. Okay. And it's music, it's hair. I mean, she had the weave. She
looks like
braids.
a light-skinned.
She had
Yeah.
She had the Janet Jackson look.
Right.
She did the whole
Somewhere
thing.
Janet Jackson went, what?
Right. And so she somehow, through affiliation, sought out, the identity of being Black. But don't call me African American, because then there's no way I can be African American.
Right.
But I choose to be called Black because that's the culture that she identifies with. But here's the funny thing to me. She got this job. It's in Spokane. I've been to Spokane. There are no Black people.
Thank you.
Spokane,
Thank you.
okay?
Yes.
I've been there.
That's how she got away with it.
So
She had nobody.
but I'm wondering if maybe when whoever did the hiring, they said, well, this is as close as we're gonna get. And
Which is a sad statement on Black people in Spokane, Washington, that they let her come up in there, take their stuff from them because she was a light-skinned girl.
right.
Light-skinned.
You know,
Which is probably a lot more digestible
in Spokane,
in
Washington.
Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
So, I hope she did a good job.
I don't care what she did.
That's the thing.
I don't
Everybody
care.
keeps saying, and so when you talk about white people's reactions,
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of what they were, but I do know certain people saying to me that, well, you can look at the good she did.
No.
I'm like, nobody knows what that is. I haven't seen her even list and say, I worked on this, I worked on that, I did, we started new programs, I helped with legislation. There you go. So,
yeah,
don't
where
know
her
what
good
she
work?
did.
People assume.
What's on her
But people
resume?
assume
I
because
hope
she's.
she did a good job.
But here's the problem. People assume because she's white and she went through all of this that she did good work. They assume. Why?
Right.
You don't assume Black people do good work,
Right.
And the past that they're giving her is really infuriating to me.
And are we forgetting the fact that she had death threats that were not actually death threats? Like she made them up.
She
Yeah.
made up stuff.
She made up
She's
stuff
crazy.
all over the place.
But because she's a white woman, people are giving her this.
A value.
They need to. But they're giving her this past that just really bugs me. Talking about, she's opened up the discussion on race. The discussion on race was about Black unarmed men being murdered. Now it's about,
This one white lady helping uplift our community by giving us a voice. So it goes
in
back
blackface.
Yes, it goes back to patriarchy.
It goes.
They're using this as they do with every opportunity to
Yeah.
to say that racism is dead. And look
Or
at
that racism
and now
has.
she's being reversed, discriminated.
Well, I think what they're saying is that race is now fluid. It doesn't work the opposite
But
direction.
it doesn't.
Right.
That's not. Yeah. That's
You know,
not
Erica,
true.
if you were to identify as a white woman and walk into Saks Fifth Avenue, I guarantee you security would not look through the camera and see you as, there's Susie with an eye.
Right.
Well, I identify as a natural redhead.
Right. Uh-huh.
Every 6 weeks, I identify as a natural redhead.
Yeah, it really bugs me that they're making it seem like, and then they try to tie it into the transgender experience, which I really find offensive because transgender people don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to identify as male or female or whatever it is that I'm not physically, and therefore you have to accept it. That's not it. Transgender people know from the time that they're little kids that they're in the wrong body or whatever it is, but it is not like they choose to be something else. And, and they're trying to tie it into Caitlyn Jenner and make it seem like people can just choose who they are. You can't just choose who you are. You are who you are. And I don't get it.
Well, they don't want to talk about these things anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. They don't want to talk about race. They don't want to talk about
Because they don't come out good
police.
on the race discussion.
Exactly. They don't have a leg to stand up.
Mm-mm.
They don't want to talk about.
And by they, we mean white people.
That is not about Jesus Christ and barbecues and guns. It's like they
Right.
don't want to talk about anything else because
What
they
did
can't
Jesus
talk about
identify
it.
I would hope Jesus identified as a black man.
Depends on who you're talking to.
Exactly.
He definitely identified as the underdog, which goes back to her. So does she.
Yeah.
And what is that need in some white people to identify as the underdog when you're not?
I think that goes back to that conversation about privilege. People hate it. People hate to hear that they are privileged in any way, shape, or form. And they'll fight back and say, "I had to work hard, and my parents, they came here and they didn't have any money, and
we're immigrants too. We came from Dutch land."
Right. We came over with $20 in our pocket, and now we own, half of New York City.
Right.
Yada yada yada. And say, but that was their money. That wasn't my money. So people don't like to know that they started off on a higher platform. So they shape themselves as the underdog. They turn around and they say, no, I had to do this on my own. I had to have a job in college, and I drove an old car or something, anything to have, because every politician does it when they stand up and tell a story.
Yeah.
Every single one, they have to find something.
No matter if daddy was the former senator from
right,
whatever.
exactly. They say, I had to pull myself up by my bootstraps.
Mm-hmm.
Who wears straps on their boots?
And your Gucci boots don't count.
Well, but what I think it is it's a reaction to the slipping of their culture that they once knew it to be. And there is and has been a sweeping brownification across the country, and you see it in food, you see it in movies, you see it on television, you see it everywhere. And so and
then you got to look at your son on Malibu's Most Wanted, walking through with saggy pants.
Right. So and next thing you know, you have prominent politicians who are against gay rights, but their children are gay.
Yeah.
And then you have, they're seeing their culture slip away, and that has to be a scary thing.
But to me, that's the wrong way to look at it. Is your culture isn't, you talk about this great melting pot. That's all we heard growing up, the melting pot. Well, you meant throw some Italian soup into some Polish sausage but you didn't mean black. You didn't mean black don't fit in there. Right. You didn't mean Latino. We don't melt, evidently. We cause a problem. We put spice into your bouillabaisse. Right. Like, it's just, so say what you mean. And to me, this Rachel Dugugu, she, like, whatever her name is, I won't even respect her enough to learn her name. Okay, she bugs me. She bugs me to the core, because I swear to God, if one more of my friends say, well, she didn't do any harm. She did harm. She took the place of a black person.
She took scholarship money. She has taken jobs. She has she's hurt people. Just in fact, she was a professor of some sort, I guess. And there's one student in particular that said that the student was Hispanic, but she said, well, you don't look Hispanic enough to represent whatever group they were doing. And if you watch some of these older YouTube videos of her being interviewed, I think it was by a former student or something, and she talked about, people touching her hair and all her little struggles that, like, you sat and watched enough television and read enough books and
to become a black woman.
Right. And then to have the struggle of people touching your hair.
Well, here's another thing,
which you bought.
And I don't recall the full timeline, but so she goes to Howard. She then sues because she felt discriminated, right?
Because she was white.
And then
let's not forget, because she was white.
Right. But
So
then she got the NAACP job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's the background check?
Thank you.
In that process.
Thank you.
They didn't do a little bit of a background check.
NAACP has to be held accountable.
Absolutely.
You're right. Somebody's got to go in and say, wait a minute.
Absolutely.
Wait, hold up.
even with Matt Lauer's interview this morning, he showed her a picture of herself at 16, and he said, how did you identify then? And she said, well, as white. But then she said, as young as 5, I was drawing with the brown crayon and curling my.
So stop lying. Stop lying. You're a liar.
At 16, you went white again. I mean, how do you get a flip flop?
See, this goes actually. There's a play and a movie called Catch Me If You Can, and it's about a guy who basically he took on whatever persona. He was a lawyer. He even pretended he was an airline pilot
Right.
and flew planes.
Leonardo DiCaprio
Played him in the movie.
Right.
Tom Hanks co-starred. When white people lie,
They get a movie.
they get a movie deal. Okay, Broadway
Good
play.
job at the FBI.
Right. Yeah. When black people lie, it's the end of the world. This woman has lied like no black person has ever lied. You know, like she has like done world-class lying, and white people are lined up to excuse her, and black people too. Some black people are lined up to excuse her. And to me, she deserves to rot in a special celebrity hell of people who don't deserve one moment of good feelings.
But those little boys she's parading around, I feel bad for them. They have to go to school and they have to.
And you
I
know,
mean, just imagine a kind of upbringing they're having just because she can't get this one little part right. How are you raising?
right,
You're raising black boys.
Right.
black boys who don't belong to you by some strange.
Yeah, I still don't really understand.
There's some Spokane stuff
She
going
was
on up
married
there.
to a black man for a while.
Of course she was,
Right.
but did he marry a black woman?
Did he not?
Right. Or was he tapping Susie? You know, I don't. Her whole life is
Because
a
they got
lie.
divorced. I'd like to hear from him.
You know, he's somewhere. He's somewhere. TMZ will find him. You know.
Please get on that.
Yeah,
I would
because
like to know.
it
if he
just
is.
bugs me. Okay, last subject. Caitlyn Jenner. I have seen so many black folks write some nasty stuff about Caitlyn. What's you guys' opinion?
I don't care.
Thank you. I
I don't care.
I don't even know why people care so much. You know, there's all the Facebook stuff about, you know, courage and, you know, all those things, and people, you know, there's posts about this is, you know, they show the picture side by side,
Mhm.
and, you know, they put like a fireman next to it. This is real courage. And, you know, I just don't know why anybody really cares. This is her personal journey, and
I think it takes courage to come out and be something different than what people think you are, except when your name is Rachel.
Like Rachel Google.
Except for Rachel Gugu Gaga. Except for her. But it's one of those things that, you know, if you're transgender, okay, I don't, you know, I feel like we make a big deal out of celebrity a lot of the times that is just unnecessary to me. And it's not that I don't think, you know, I'm happy for her, you know, but I don't care. I don't care. And the fact you're going to get a show out of it and make a whole lot of money, I don't care, because that whole family makes it. I know you love.
I love me a Kardashian. Oh my God. I have the book.
I have nothing against them, but I have nothing for them either. Like, it really means absolutely nothing to me. And I didn't buy the magazine. I haven't even seen an actual hard copy of the.
I haven't either.
What is it? What is it? Vogue?
You know what? I have not. I think it's Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair.
Right.
And what the biggest part to me was when I saw the announcement for the article, and me being a former journalist, was that it was 22 pages.
That's
was
a
22
lot.
pages. That's a lot of freaking words. That was like, oh, that was my. I was like, wow, 22 pages.
They know that
How much
that's.
did that writer make?
Yeah, they know
That
that that's going to sell.
That's all I cared about.
But to me, I didn't care because by the time that Caitlyn came out, we had all heard so much
You already
about
knew
it.
that happened.
Right.
Yeah, it
And
was.
you had like 12 hours worth of surgery. You better look good when you come out of 12 hours worth of plastic surgery.
You know, the thing is, for me, is it's totally different when you have a platform that she has. She'd go anywhere,
Yeah.
any magazine, put it on television, do the whole thing. What about those who go through the same struggle that have, you know, angry parents that don't identify with who they are,
No, I agree.
and they still move forward? To me, that's having more courage than being able to, you know,
You know,
out there.
I always say that the girls walking down the street and getting on the bus and going to the supermarket have so much more courage than I do, because their entire existence from the moment they walk out their door to the moment they get back to their door is people staring at them, snickering at them, some people catcalling them out loud. I was once on a bus, and we'll wrap this up. I was once on a bus in LA, and a T-girl, as they say in LA, got on the bus, and she, you know, she was doing her best with her look. And when she got on, I complimented her. I said, "Oh, you look good." And she smiled. Then these two girls got on the bus with all of these boys with the sagging pants and stuff. And I just knew there was going to be trouble. And they started in on her. And she sat there and she sat there. And finally she lost it. And she beat their asses right there, right on that bus, and threw them off the bus. And I'm sitting there and the whole bus went quiet. And all of a sudden people started cheering. The entire bus started cheering because they realized her struggle was real. Right. And she had finally had enough of her struggle and fought back. That took courage. Absolutely. She took on 6 people. Okay. And the last girl got trapped because the bus driver closed the door because the rest of them she threw out. There was one girl who got trapped and she screamed at the door, "Let me out of here, let me out of here." The bus driver was like, slowly opening the door till she finally got out. But that took courage to fight for herself like that. And she went and she sat down and she pushed down her skirt. And
Caitlin's not going to get the hate crime.
Right. And Caitlin is a Republican, and in the gay activist community, that's causing a lot of problems because if ever there was a party that is against transgender people, it's the Republican Party. But yeah, she's not going to suffer. She's going to walk into Republican fundraisers and they're going to act like there's no problem. Right. She's never going to see what the average girl goes.
They want you to stay and donate, and they'll say, behind the scenes, we're going to do X, Y,
right,
and
right.
Z.
But in public, they're telling you that you're an abomination before God. So as we wrap it up, Rolando is still alive. Hey, Rolando. For a minute there, Rolando was bent over, and I said, "Oh God, he done died." We have 6 minutes. So, okay, let's talk about Parlay and Urban League Men. No, we're gonna talk about it again because if I have to keep talking about Rachel DeGoogoo, I'm gonna kill somebody. Okay, no, let's go back to her.
Well, can I say how much I love Twitter? I mean, I can't be busy all weekend.
Right.
Looking at the different memes. People are so creative. I had so much fun with some of those. That one of her painting the good times picture. Yes. Yeah.
There was another one where she was that guy who used to do the PBS teach you how to be an artist with the afro.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was painting his happy little tree.
Yeah.
The struggle of Black people.
Black Twitter did lose its mind over her.
So much fun.
Okay, so if she pops out now, how do we?
What do you think she's gonna do next?
Oh, please! She's gonna do the movie starring Bally Burton-Nelly.
With Iggy.
Don't mess with Iggy. Don't mess with Iggy. No,
fantastic.
I love Iggy. You know what? Iggy got beat up on by a lot of folks.
Oh, we're bullying Iggy.
You bullied Iggy. Snoop bullied her. Iggy went through a lot. Iggy ain't never said she was black.
I'm trapped in here. I can't even storm
Iggy, have you seen where Iggy came from?
Australia.
Trailer park. Australians are much more ghetto than anybody in America. First of all, them some nasty people. They are descended from criminals. I said it. They are. They're so bad that England had to go and put them on a rock thousands of miles away. They are ghetto. Australians are nasty. Okay, I said it. If you're Australian, you know you're nasty.
But we love you.
But we recognize your struggle. Australians,
identify as
right?
Australian.
So to me, just because Iggy is white and blonde and comes from a place that you think has beaches, she actually came from a trailer park in the middle of the country where people eat each other. They have all sorts of nastiness going on there. If anybody could claim to know about the struggle, it's Iggy. But I think that.
That's why they should do an album together.
You know what?
Right.
No, she should do it with Nicki Minaj. That way she could get some real cred.
She can put on her little thong and everything.
Right. Because I'm sure she got back.
I'm sure she can find a black athlete or something to marry next.
I think she's probably damaged goods at this point. You're gonna have a hard time.
I don't know. They should go on the Incognito tour.
The Incognito.
Yeah.
Iggy, Rich Glugglugoo. Who else could go on that tour? Who else thinks that?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice.
I just think we should go back to the whole trading. I think if we're gonna trade, we're gonna keep Rachel, then we have to get rid of Raven Simone, and we have to get rid of
the Dash chick.
Oh, Stacey Dash.
Stacey Dash. Yeah.
She's got to go.
Yeah.
I think she self-identifies as white.
Right. And you know what? Okay, now that Rachel Dudugluo has come about, I think that Stacey Dash, we need to apologize to Stacey Dash. Stacey Dash didn't understand that all she had to do was self-identify as a white chick. Yeah. So Stacey, collectively,
and well,
we are sorry.
Because Raven, well, she doesn't identify as anything.
Right. I think Raven's just like, I don't like none of y'all.
She's like, I'm not gay.
Right.
I'm not black. I am just.
I'm Raven.
I'm just
Yeah.
me.
And Bill Cosby didn't do nothing. Yeah. I just would like to extend, on behalf of all black people, an apology to Stacey Dash. We just didn't understand that you were self-identifying as a white chick. And for that, we apologize. And Matt Lauer, I think you need to, Stacey Dash, once again, they take it from us. Stacey Dash was first, and they took it from us and gave it to this white chick in Spokane, which, by the way, I've been to Spokane.
I haven't. I think I'm the only one who's never been to Spokane.
You don't need to.
I was the darkest person there.
Yeah.
Imagine.
They don't get a lot of sun.
They don't get a lot of Negroes.
There is that. I do not understand how much spray tan she's had to use in order for Rachel to stay that brown, because she was pretty pale.
She looks like any of my cousins or my aunties.
I mean, she,
you know?
She had a little vernacular going on there, a little bit of an accent. I don't know if that was a Spokane accent, because I've never been there. But she had, but she mentioned that in one of the YouTube interviews and saying that, people, think about how I talk. And
vernacular. Vernacular.
Yeah, but she said how I talk.
Did she do her neck like that too?
She had a little something to it. She had a leather jacket, and
she
whatever.
bugs
She watched a
me.
lot of different world.
Oh, but she was looking at Marissa Tomei instead of Denise.
Right, she was looking at Summer at least.
Right. That's probably her idol, actually. It's crazy. So another person who I don't know what she thinks she is, but if she identifies as white, I'm with Cree now. I'm down with Cree. I don't know. She got that curly hair, though, so.
Don't make fun of people with curly hair.
Oops. Oops. All right. Rolando, wake up. How many minutes we got?
Two.
So, love Rolando.
Count.
I love Rolando. So, okay, here's the dealio. Parlay Magazine, www.
When is the next?
Oh, yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
I win.
Strong black woman.
Better than this morning. Up here was an angry black woman.
Oh, she was angry? She didn't have her.
Hungry.
Yeah, hungry.
Hungry.
Coffee, hungry. She was angry. Is what they said. That was the degree she was. Angry black woman with curly hair. So, okay, on the 25th of June at Coterie on East Fremont, which is the baddest clothing store in town, owned by people of color. Another color. I don't know, because they look black, but they're not.
Well, we'll go and see what they
I believe they self-identify. I think they're Asian. Yeah, they self-identify.
That matters.
Yeah, anyway.
People of color.
Yeah, they have a really cool store, and Coterie is going to be hosting, along with myself, the Parlay Magazine June launch issue with Kevin Hooks of the Urban League on the cover. See, this is all symbiotic. It's all incestuous.
We're being intersectional.
Right. We're self-identifying as a group. So anyway, you can't come though, because it's invitation only. I've made it that way. You can't sit with us, but it's gonna be really cool, and I'm sure we'll have it up on YouTube and stuff. But it's part of my Vincent, which is French for 25 series of salon type events, where we put together 25 interesting people and just get to know one another from different angles. The Urban League. What's up next with the Urban League?
So right now, the thing that we are working on for the month of June, we just launched a fundraiser for a little boy. His name is Kyron Hall, and he has stage 4 terminal cancer. And so we're having a birthday party for him on the 27th at the Discovery Children's Museum. Anybody can come down and donate. The party in and of itself is a little bit separate and a little bit private, just because he is going through chemotherapy, but we are hoping people will come down and
by donate
money.
And does he need any like little presents and stuff?
No, we want money.
Okay.
They want money. Well, we want money. No, not because he doesn't, like toys or anything like that. But what we're really trying to do is help this family
Yeah.
through this financial time. So you can text
How much? Oh, go ahead.
KYRON to 91011, and you can donate that way.
Kyron.
You can,
Say it again.
Kyron, KYRON to 91011. So you can text that on your phone and donate that way. You can also go to any Wells Fargo and donate to the account there. Just ask for the.
How much is this costing his family?
I do not know.
It's got to be some enormous amount.
An enormous amount of money because he's doing a 25-week chemo. I forgot what they call it. But it's just this group here, and then he's going to have radiation after that. And they took a 4-pound tumor out of his stomach, and they've taken one of his kidneys. So,
and so the family has to lose time from work and all that kind of stuff.
This is a young family. The mom is 24, and they also have a baby that's, I believe, 6 months old. So a little girl. So
well, let's help out Kyron.
In December. So yeah, so we're working on that, and we're going to be constantly doing that fundraiser up until September.
Okay. Oh, little Kyron. Got to help Kyron out. All right, and we are done, and we'll be back Thursday at 8:00. Rolando. Rolando said, I didn't expect you to show up. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That was #TalkingWhileblack. Bye.